As you roll it over the dough, that will cut the noodles in long strips, 10 at a time. Did you ever try to chop up a little nuts for cake? Why, I've seen ladies chop nuts and the nuts land up on the ceiling. Sometimes you chop the ends off your fingers when you want to chop up a little nuts for cake. Cooked meat, clams for chowder, soup greens to throw into your soup. Making a little pepper or chicken hash is just a few strokes rolling it up and down. Why, here is without a doubt the meanest thing in the world to cut parsley. Put that in a grinder, you really grind it too fine. This machine, instead of crushing the parsley, cuts it quick, clean, and dry, leaving every bit of the juice and every bit of the flavor. Now, to clean this machine, you press the button. Rinse it out in a little water. When you're through using it, hang it up and let it dry. Here's one here that every lady should have in her home, known as the Parisian scoop. You lay it flat, once to the right, once to the left. When you scoop them out, you'll get a perfect round little ball. You can pot roast these, cut them out of cheese or cut them out of butter. When you're serving a fruit cocktail in the summertime, take your fresh cantaloupe, scoop them out like this, mix them with apples, pears, and watermelons, makes a delicious fruit cocktail served with a little cracked ice like you see here. But here's a tool, ladies, if you ever do get it, you'll thank the day you've seen this demonstration. When you press, it locks. It's like a pair of human hands. Reach in the oven and take the biscuits out of the oven. Ever take the hot potatoes out of the oven and burn yourself on the elbow? A roast chicken out of the oven, a piece of meat out of the pot, spinach, asparagus out of the water. Why, around canning season, when you're preserving the fruits, to take the hot fruit jars out of the water like that, that machine is worth dollars to you. And here's another one that I really know you'll enjoy having in your kitchen, known as the safety grater. No doubt you're familiar with the old-fashioned grater. I've seen ladies take a grater and rip the knuckles off. When you want to grate up potatoes for delicious potato pancakes, this has a smooth, flat edge, impossible to cut yourself. Just like you were washing clothes, you rub it up and down, and you really grate your vegetables real fine, retaining all the flavors and all the juices. Breadcrumbs for when you're serving veal cutlets or anything like that. You want a little breadcrumbs to fry your fish in? Why, there's the greatest proposition in the world. Use that for coconut, cheese, or horseradish. When you're through with it, just hit it down like that. That knocks all the food out. Rinse it out in a little water and hang it up and let it dry. Now, here is a stone made of carborundum and sapphire quartz, which is made purposely to keep these knives sharp. When they get dull, a few strokes over the edge like this, and you can put a keen cutting edge on it. If you have a dull knife or a dull pair of scissors, an old sickle or a scythe, a lawnmower, cleaver, an axe, there's a tool that will really put an edge on the knife, so the knife will really cut for you. I just want to give you an idea of how sharp that knife really is when you sharpen it with that stone. Ladies, I've seen some of you try to open up cans. Now, there's a can of Campbell's baked beans. I've seen ladies open up a can and you poke a hole in it, go around the top, hippity-hop, and your finger slips. Let me show you a real proposition. Look, lay it on the can, lift up the safety, and turn the key. That locks itself on the can. No harder than you were winding up your watch. Wind up the key and that'll cut the top off of the can slick and smooth. Notice how the end raises itself up in the air so you can lift the lid off, giving you a clean, smooth edge. Now, that can be used for sardine cans, square cans, or round cans, exactly the same way. Now, this tool here, my dear friends, needs no introduction. This will save you on an average of $20 to $30 every year you use it as a peeling knife. Here's a grater for cheese, coconut, or horseradish, a fish scaler for scaling your fish, and when you're coring your apple, it's just a slight twist of the wrist, and there's the apple core. There's one more tool that I want you to see, and I want you to watch this one very closely. Many a times when you're baking a pie, you have a pudding in the oven. I've seen ladies wrap a towel around your hand, and many a times you burn your fingers. Hook this onto the pot like this and lift the hot pots off the top of the stove. You've got a pie pan in the oven, get your hold of the pie pan like this. Why, you couldn't get it off with a team of horses. This will positively lift 100 pounds. There's a pail of water weighs 50 or 60 pounds. That's the way you pick it up. But there's one more tool. I'll be all through and I'll be finished. Oh, now the next tool and the last one is what they call the Sarah Bernhardt cutter. This was invented by the head chef of the Imperial Hotel in the city of Berlin, Germany. You place the screw into the center of the vegetable. Twist the vegetable until the threads catch a hold, then you wind this up. You keep winding until you utilize the whole potato. The faster you turn, the quicker the slices. Why, ladies, here's a machine for slicing onions. The first onion that you slice with this cutter, you'll bless the day you've got a hold of it. Every slice cut exactly the same thickness. Every slice cut the same size. In making what they call a rosette, pull the vegetable out like this. Pin the ends together with a toothpick. Drop that potato into the hot fat and fry it. That will come out like a donut, golden brown. If you're serving a nice fish dinner, a little parsley goes in the center with the fish all around it. Makes a very appetizing dish. Did you ever try to slice onions with a knife? You know how you get one thick slice and one thin slice? Run the knife through the center. That will separate each slice individual. Almost like magic, there is every slice cut exactly the same thickness and the same size. Wouldn't you like to have a set like this in your kitchen? Why, of course you would. Now don't forget, attend this theater every week and receive this 12-piece fascinating... Ladies and gentlemen, the management of this theater takes great pleasure in making this announcement. To each lady attending this theater each week, will receive absolutely free a fascinating 12-piece kitchen cutlery set, one piece each time. It is really interesting and amazing to know how you can prepare your meals in an appetizing and pleasing manner. There's an old saying, and a true one, that what is pleasing to the eye is bound to be pleasing to the appetite. I'm going to demonstrate this set to you, and I want you to watch it very closely. The first cutter that I'm going to show you, now this first one is known as the Parisian cutter. Wind it through the potato like a corkscrew. When the cutter appears on the opposite side, pull the cutter out. Place the handle in the center and twist it out. This is what they call a French curl. When you fry these, they come out like donuts, nice and brown. Serve them with your steaks or pot roast them. Unwind it, there's two curls out of the one potato. Tomorrow morning for breakfast, wind a little strip of bacon around the potato and serve them with bacon and eggs. They're delicious. Different colored vegetables, wind them together and you get the two colors. Here's a little trick cut. Split the curl halfway through the center. If you're making a shrimp salad and you happen to run short of shrimp, mix these in with the regular shrimp. Upon my word, you couldn't tell the difference until you start to eat 'em. Now the rest of the potato, you stuff it. We'll call this a little chicken. We'll call this here some hamburger. You might have a little meat that's been laying in the ice box for a few days. Chop the meat up fine, season it highly, stuff it into the center of the potato and bake them with the skins on. When they're done, cut them in two. Serve them on the half shell just like that. Serve them in slices when company calls. The more company you have, the thinner you cut the slices. If your mother-in-law calls, give her a beak piece like that. Now, the second tool in the set is known as the garnishing knife. Everything you cut with this must come out fancy. Watch this, please. You cut down, you turn the potato, and then you cut through the edge. First one way, and then the other. Sweet potatoes cut like this, drop them into a little batter of pancake flour and fry them. When they're golden brown, sprinkle molasses on them. Serve them with strips of bacon for breakfast while they're delicious. Here's beets, you pickle them, and carrots, you steam or cream them. In making the original French fried potato, cut them in thick slices. Put them one on top of each other. Cross-cut the slices, and you'll never eat a French fry any other way. The potatoes cut like this will not absorb the fat because they're garnished around. Pineapples cut for your pineapple and cheese salad, cut them the same way. Here is one, and this is a dandy. Cuts any thickness or any size. Open it for a thick slice, close to the top for a thin slice. Saratoga chips, you can make them for 3 or 4 pennies a pound. Just pull the blade towards you like this. If you want the slices thicker than this, open the blade, there's a thick slice. Shoestrings for your Friday fish dinner, cut them down like this. Chop them up for your vegetable soup. What this knife is really intended for is for cutting the cabbage. You know the old-fashioned board, how you rip and tear, sometimes nipping the ends off your fingers. Lay it flat and pull it lightly towards you over the cabbage. The weight of the knife across the cabbage is all that's necessary. Why, ladies, when you get slaw cut as fine as this, you'll certainly appreciate eating it. The crowning feature of the set is the cutter that I'm going to show you now. This is known as the Champeen Vegetable Mincing Knife and Noodle Cutter. Now, when you want to make some real fine noodles at home, you roll the dough out like this. Dip this into a little flour so it doesn't stick to the dough, and as you roll it over the dough, that will cut the noodles in long strips 10 at a time. Did you ever try to chop up a little nuts for cake? Why, I've seen ladies chop nuts and the nuts land up on the ceiling. Sometimes you chop the ends off your fingers. When you want to chop up a little nuts for cake, cooked meat, clams for chowder, soup greens to throw into your soup, making a little pepper or chicken hash is just a few strokes rolling it up and down. Why, here is without a doubt the meanest thing in the world to cut parsley. Put that in a grinder, you really grind it too fine. This machine, instead of crushing the parsley, cuts it quick, clean, and dry, leaving every bit of the juice and every bit of the flavor. Now, to clean this machine, you press the button. Rinse it out in a little water. When you're through using it, hang it up and let it dry. Here's one here that every lady should have in her home, known as the Parisian scoop. You lay it flat, once to the right, once to the left. When you scoop them out, you'll get a perfect round little ball. You can pot roast these, cut them out of cheese or cut them out of...
Evening, everyone. How we doing tonight? Just getting our chicken out here, refilling my water. Probably 2 things I shouldn't be doing at the same time. My hands a proper cleanup of here before I go back to playing with my water holder. How is everyone tonight? Hopefully everyone's having a great day. I fell asleep this afternoon and slept through most of the day. So it's hot buttered rum day. So we'll be doing hot buttered rum. Gonna be doing a spatchcock chicken as well. Some mashed potatoes to go with that, some gravy. See if we got any chicken stock defrosted here. Well, let's defrost some chicken stock rather. Put our water away. And so, chicken. Not the prettiest animal I've seen yet. Not in love with that little bruise or whatever we got going there right in the tip of our chicken breast. Hey, Miss Lisa Face, welcome in. How's your day going? Actually, I guess it is sort of evening. We are getting to that point in the year here where we're going to probably have the light rays coming in the door here. So I'm going to start off by spatchcocking my bird here. And actually, that's not what I should be doing first here. I should be getting some butter out here to warm up. We're going to be cutting it a little close on butter tonight. That's all the butter I got in the house. So, lots of work, but resting now too. That's good. So I'm just going to take my kitchen shears, good heavy duty, strong pair of scissors here, and just cut along the spine on both sides here. Takes a little bit of effort. And it slips if you're not used to what you're doing. But there we go. One de-spined bird. Some extra fat in there. And a vein too that we can pull out, or an artery. Then going to take my knife, make a little bit more of a precision cut here in the breastbone. And rinse up my knife because that's all I was going to use it on the chicken for. Sheet pan, parchment. Turn our oven on, 400 degrees. Actually, I'm going to fudge that and go a little bit higher. We'll do 415 to start today. Throw you in a pan to defrost. So I'm going to roast this with everything else here. Let's not this tonight. Let's throw this in with our sauce. We'll throw both of these in with our sauce. They'll give us some flavor. Go with all of our other goodness here. I'll rinse off my scissors now real good. Also a great thing with kitchen shears, they come apart. Easy to sanitize. Get some music going here. Flatten that out, allow that to crack a little bit more. Lay that down on the board here. And these we're going to set aside for with our sauce. What am I going to do my sauce into? Oh, well, let's figure that out later. Let's just use a plate for it right now. Throw these on there. Out of sight, out of mind. Done with their cutting board. Let's get the cutting board rinse off. Get that out of our way. If you guys are noticing, you guys been playing Stream Raiders. We're gonna have to finish this map today. Or at least I want to finish this map today, which means 5 hours. We have a super loyalty chest, or a super loyalty boss at the end of this map. Which, if you guys have been doing Stream Raiders, I think it's the first one that I've gotten. But there are some big rewards on those guys. We got not only a super loyalty boss, we got a loyalty chest. I don't know, Entropy. I don't know if I got it. Oh, I don't know if I got it in me for cooking. But it might be a long stream otherwise. Or I might do post stream. I don't know. Let's figure it out. But could be. Okay, next steps. Butter. We need butter for underneath this chicken skin. Yeah, that's sort of what I was thinking might happen, Entropy. We could transition over to the back and hang out and chat and just do Stream Raiders. Let's see here. Herbage. We're going to use parsley, we're going to use green onion. Pharmacy is maybe a little of a stretch. Maybe I should take that one out. Going super green again like we did last time. But I'm actually not going to put most of this herb underneath the skin. I put a lot of herbs underneath the skin last time. Didn't love the way the last bird looked. It looked like it was burnt almost in the photos, if you look on Instagram. It wasn't, though. It's just the way the photos turned out. But it did look dark. And so I think I'm going to avoid that this time around by skipping the herbs underneath the skin. I think that was a sort of a color thing that was screwing up the camera. And we'll do herbs on top with all the everything seasoning. I'm going to use the leftover everything seasoning from bagels on Friday. We're going to coat the whole top of this guy with that. But we're going to do that after it's roasted a fair amount of time, because the seasoning out in the oven, it's just going to burn. We don't want... I mean, the garlic and stuff and the everything seasoning's already toasted, so it's not going to be able to handle a ton of heat. So we'll cook the bird almost entirely through, and then pull it out, give it a baste, and use that butter or that basting liquid as a means of adhering our herbs and seasoning, and then just put that back in there just long enough to get it all stick and be happy that skin. I woke up from my nap this afternoon and didn't even want to do anything. I didn't want to rate. I didn't want to stream. I didn't want to. Took me a little bit to get the motivation to be here today, but I am happy to be here today. Pasta. Fan on low. Knife a bit of a steel here. Yeah, I keep saying that about my knives too. I don't sharpen mine near as much as they probably should be. And honestly, it's getting harder to find a decent sharpener. I mean, I'm not... Okay, if you don't care about your knives, if you've got, knives that you're not going to worry over losing, sure, send them out in the mail to a sharpener. But I'm sorry, I sort of want to take my knives that I care about, not leave them to random postal carrier, and take them to a proper professional that I actually know is going to treat them with some care. And I think the last knife shop here in Sonoma County is closed in the last 5 years here, which means I'm probably if I'm going to take them to a professional sharpener, probably going to have to go into San Francisco. I know I'm probably going to have to go into San Francisco if I want to go and buy a knife these days in person, which is another thing. I don't want to buy a knife online without having felt it in my hand, know where the balance is, know how heavy it is. I generally sharpen my own. I have a couple of sharpening stones, but I am by no means a sharpening expert. I'm hesitant to do it on stream or something. bottle. See how we fare. This is the first of the circuit board maps that I think I've done. Victory! They didn't make us run over to the last lightning bolt. Oh well. Entropy with the kills and the assists. You got 10 gold and going to Entropy. Archer Scrolls going to Penguinosaurus Rex. Penguinus Rex? Alright, let's see here. I'm going to put out my Berserker. This is going to be a good map for rogues. Take out those factories ahead of time, but if you're going to put more traditional military, put them over here. Because we'll get that power up and we'll all get the buff and fight everything together. Miss Lisa Face just owning that scramble. Okay, how we doing on... We're going to want to melt this slightly. Hey, Kirby! How you doing today? I'm gonna throw this in the microwave for a moment. I'm doing pretty well. Now that I'm up and going and streaming for the day. It still needs another 10 seconds. However, I am going to put a bunch of seasoning underneath this skin. Kirby. A little garlic powder. A little cayenne. Paprika. White pepper. MSG. Nice, Kirby. Come on, open jar. There you go. It's my container MSG. Yeah, that goes on. And regular salt. To that mixture, I'm going to add a little lard because I want a little bit more fat here than I have butter. And I need butter for my hot buttered rum. I need some butter for my potatoes. So we're substituting a little pork fat tonight. Just a little bit. Thank you, Lexi. So we'll mash all this loveliness, all the spice, butter, lard together. And we'll go back to our bird here. And I'm going to just move the camera down a little bit here. My fingers underneath the skin here, loosen that all up. Same thing underneath the chicken breast. This guy doesn't seem to have a whole lot of fight to him. Some of them are, I say that, and then this one gets a little bit harder, but typically there's a little bit of a membrane that you sort of have to break through in order to get underneath there. Okay. And then we'll take a fair scoop of this. Put it underneath each one of these chicken breasts. Sort of use the skin like lid almost. You can use it to almost scrape it off your fingers, and you can use it to help push it around underneath the skin. Let's see. Thank you for gifting that sub to my boy Robin. And the last of it here, we're just going to sort of smear on the outside here. Sort of nice. They turn the wings back like I normally do when I roast it automatically for me. They started, I guess they started selling them like that these days. You notice the wing tips are tucked back. That isn't how they're naturally. I doubt that would feel good for the chicken. Okay, lots of fat on everything here. Slide that up on the board a little bit more. I need to get some of this fat off my hands so I can move stuff around. Appreciate that sub, Lexi. Let's stick to the parchment. There we go. We have temp there? Nice. So we're going to throw this in the oven now. Take a look at it in 20 minutes. It's probably going to need 30 to 40, and then we're going to drop it down in temp. More looking for color than actually finishing out the bird. We'll lower the temp and finish out the bird at a lower temp. Continuing in our plan of using a little bit less butter tonight, because I didn't go to the store just for butter. Going to use some of the stock for not only gravy, we're going to use some of the stock for our mashed potatoes. So we'll get this melted down. We got that going on our stove now. Don't need junk in the sink. Starting to create a pile here in the sink already, and we're not even... A little marathon to start off the year, I think, was good. Resting. Because they got me to realize a couple of things about my stream and hopefully improve them. I was just thinking before this stream started today, wow, last year just like disappeared. Like, it feels like it's still January from last year to me. Thank you, Miss Lisa. Yeah, I'm sort of wondering about that myself. I'm not going to do every day. I just don't have the setup or anything to do that. My board would kill me. Or it'd probably need multiple boards. But yeah, I am sort of like Mondays? Yeah, me too a little bit, Lexi. I keep feeling like, yeah, it feels like it's January, February 2020 still. So let's dry my hand off. I'm going to finish up chopping these herbs. And then we'll get into hot buttered rum time. Speaking of that, just so that I plan ahead. Hey, Entropy. I did a pretty poor job cutting that parsley this time. I could have done better with that. So that's about 3/4 of a bunch of green onions. I cut the tops a couple of times for garnish. And about half a bunch of parsley leaves. Hi there, chicken, I hear ya. Sizzling under there in that oven. Oh, that's what I could have put in there. Could have put a little lemon in there with our chicken. Or a little dried lemon peel with our seasoning. So this is going to be, I'm going to throw some of this in the potatoes, but most of this is going to be for on top of the chicken. And we're going to mix some of that with this, which is the leftover everything spice or bagel seasoning from Friday. See if we can get that close enough you guys can actually get it. There we go. You can actually see the seeds and the onion flakes. I'm gonna take these guys and throw these in with that stock over here. Take this guy and break him in half. Little fat ain't gonna hurt us. Getting close on that second battle. How we looking here? Another 8 minutes for you guys. Get another units on the couple of units on the field. Cheers. First cheers of the evening for your non-alcoholic drinkers. Okay, I lied. I said we're going to do hot buttered rum first. We're going to do potatoes first. We're going to get potatoes on water. Still got this bag of Idahos. These Burbank russets. I actually used to volunteer at the Luther Burbank home, which, if you're not familiar with Luther Burbank, you love food, he's someone you should know. He's not a native of Sonoma County, but he decided to live his life here. He's originally from, I believe, from Ohio. But he was the man that developed many foods that we know, at least a lot of veggies. He's one of the first leaders of breeding plants and using plant science before we knew what plant science was. And so he's the man who created the Shasta daisy, which is the famous daisy that everyone knows with nice white petals or creamy white petals and a golden center to it. He created that. He bred specifically to make that. But he had a laundry list of other things that he created over the years. Like, well, the Burbank potato was his first claim to fame, and actually sold the rights to that to move out here to California and buy the properties that he had here in California. He had a experimental farm, and he had his real farm. And additionally, because there was so much competition, so many people interested in what he was doing as far as planting and doing different plants after he made a name for himself. He has plants hidden all over the county. Like, he made agreements with, buddy agreements with people. Like, hey, this is a cool plant. I want to plant this here so that no one knows that it's here. And so there's random things that have popped up over the years that have been like, Yeah, that's his. And unfortunately, after his death, companies came in and basically came in and patented everything he did. But he's creator of the Santa Rosa plum, the Idaho potato, Shasta daisy, all sorts of roses, all sorts of ornamentals. His house in Santa Rosa has all sorts of... He has white blackberries that people have not figured out how to reproduce. The plant still exists. They just can't breed it. They can't replicate it. Yeah, there's a number of cool things. He's got kiwis. He's got cactus growing on his middle of a Northern California property. And he got to be very well known. For his age, he was very well known. He's sort of fallen out of knowledge these days, but you look back in those days and he was a part of those Thomas Edison and Henry Ford, let's go out camping, let's go out and explore America, trying to get people to use vehicles and electricity. Check something here real quick. Huh. How you doing tonight, Robin? You don't have to cut up your potatoes like this. I'm just doing it to get the skins, because I'm leaving the skins in my mashed potatoes to a maximum size, more to say. Hey, Mama Bear. Is our stock's boiling back here? Nope. Oh, just on the edge. Oh, I turned the camera and forgot to turn it back, so it was a little bit easier for you guys to see what's going on over here. I keep squeezing my board closer and closer this way, trying to get the camera flat and straight down. I think I started with my cutting board more like over here. Cover our taters with water. Actually going to strain that water off because just so much starch in that water. I mean, it was looking like milk. We want it so you can at least see the potatoes. We got our first 20 minutes of the chicken in here. Let's take a look at our bird. Some nice early color on that. I'm going to take that back down to, oops, 400.
Don't be afraid to borrow. Chord progressions, sounds.
Oh, hey, this is one of those songs without lyrics again.
Just snatch them all up.
We'll just skip that song from now on. Let's do our battle. Victory. Inchby getting the kills and the assists again. Grats with the gold. Headmom Barrow, the bomber scroll. And again, we are working on a loyalty, super loyalty boss chest. So, might be doing a long stream here. Nah, HP, we want your help. I think I'm going rogue this time. What, we got the Colonel here? The heck is this? I'm not a big fan of this. Them putting other captains' models in the game itself. I don't mind them giving them skins to people. Go ahead and add your units to the field. We'll have that battle here in 20 minutes or so. Save this for our taters. We're going to make some hot buttered rum. Let's start off by making what the bars call their batter, which we're really just creaming some sugar into fat here. We're gonna take, this should be enough for, I'm estimating 3 glasses out of this. So 3/4 of a stick. Though it's entirely up to you how you go about this. Using demerara or sugar in the raw. We'll start by mashing this all together. Okay, now we got that all mixed up. Guess we'll stop there. What do we got here? Okay. So we'll start by adding a little hint of vanilla here. A little ground clove. Be light on your clove. Clove is a very powerful scent and can overpower things easily. It's one of the herbs that I would suggest you go light on and build your way up to your tolerance rather than, oh yeah, I'm gonna throw I'm gonna throw 5 cloves in this. Like I'm just doing now with the cinnamon. But a heavy dose of cinnamon there. And heavy dose of nutmeg as well. Throw these all back in the spice drawer. Give this another mix up. Doesn't look like an alcoholic drink at this point, does it? Looks more like a cookie dough recipe. If you guys do go out there and find a recipe for doing this, do take a look at the recipe. I forget where it was, but one of the major recipe places that I would be first to be like, yeah, they probably have a good recipe, was a recipe for 100. They're using like a whole pound of butter. And I was like, I'm not going to do 100 of these tonight. I don't know if really anyone other than the catering party is going to. But that's even seeming like a bit much for 3 of these to me. But that's about what I think they were suggesting here. This seems like quite a bit, though. This might be 5 or 6 here to me. We'll see. Throw a little salt with our potato cooking liquid. Throw a little salt in our stock as well, because keep the salt level on the stock's pretty low. And let's take a second look at our bird here. Should be 30 minutes in here now. Have some beautiful color going there. So we're going to go ahead and turn this down. Actually, I'm going to turn this around first, but I'm going to show you what we got since I'm going to pull it out. You got a little bit of color going, a little splotchy color. Turn the bird around 180 degrees there. Give that another 10 minutes. Let's make some booze. So the idea here with this is if you're in a bar, or if you want it, then you can do this ahead of time. You can make this, you can roll it in some parchment or some plastic wrap, and then cut it off by pieces, and throw it in there and use it for making your hot buttered rum. We need a glass here. Let's pull out a mug. That looks like a hot buttered rum mug to me. What do you guys think? That works for me. Wow, it looks a little different on camera. Looks a little lighter. The white shows through a bit more in the camera than this. Let's see how it looks over here on the main one. Let's see, that looks a little bit more. It's a solid orange. Let's start by boiling a little water here. I got my coffee kettle, water kettle. First step is we're going to warm up our mug with some hot water. Once this comes up to a boil. We could go for the Bacardi. But I've had this other... Oh, I've got dark rum too. Let's do dark rum. Because I was thinking I was going to pull this bad boy out, which I already have now, but I've had this guy for like a decade now. I used to drink lots of rum when I was in college, and my drinking is just since then. Actually, I went several years there after college where I didn't drink anything at all. Cheers. can go back in here, used for nutmeg. Put the Bacardi away. I don't remember what I bought the dark rum for. Taters are to a nice boil here. I'm going to give them a cover, turn the heat off, and wait on them until we're ready to use them. Swap those out for the stock over here and let that continue to reduce here. Yeah. Yeah, but I'm wondering, because there's not a ton of things. It had to have been something for stream, because there's not a lot of things I pick up dark rum for. I'm trying to remember why I got it, other than to drink it. We're starting a new place for you. It is warm in here tonight. Take a look at our chicken. That's still looking fine. Don't want to get too dark on some of those places that are browning early. What's your drink of choice tonight, Leah? It's sort of funny. I know this kettle is almost boiling when it gets quiet. Like, it's noisy until it's just ready to start boiling, and then you start hearing it boil. So we'll start with some hot water in the mug, warm up our mug so that when we make our drink, the mug is not cooling our drink down. Give that a good 30 seconds to a minute here. Allow that to warm up our mug. Get our jigger out while we're waiting on that. Okay. Splash out the hot water. Works well for coffee too. Take a hefty amount of this good stuff. Actually, I'm going to take a little bit more of that. I'm going to try and keep this to our, see where we're at with doing this in 3 parts. Dark rum, using the smaller measure in the jigger. A little hot water. We'll give this a stir. Melt that sugar and butter in with our Chicken's down to 300 degrees now. We'll give that a stir up, make sure that's all nice and homogeneous. Already smells great. It's just reeking of all those rum smells, the cinnamon, and it's sweet. And then we finish it with a bit more water. And this is how you sort of adjust how strong you want your drink to be. Get a photo of this deliciousness. Actually, I take that back. We're going to do a little nutmeg on the top of this too. Stop spinning. There we go. Now we got a photo for the Instagrams a bit later. Let's give this a try. And let that hang out for a little bit there. Already smells like straight up like holiday time right now. And it's hot. I don't know how much of this I'm going to drink right off because it is hot. That's pretty tasty right there. I know it's not exactly the most gorgeous drink available, but that's some tastiness right there. Welcome, car guy. How you doing tonight? So then, like I said, you can wrap that up. You can put that in the fridge. We'll see how much that lasts the night. But I think it's time we make our bird a bit prettier here. Oh, it's a great winter drink. This is like perfect out skiing drink. You know, I just finished making a snowman drink. Oh yeah. I keep wanting to drink that, but it's hot. I'm already sweating. I wish they proved a little bit better car guy, but really tasty. Definitely going to do that again. I want to change up what flour I use for it. I don't want to... I tried to go at full bore and do whole wheat. I think I need to try just white bread flour. But let's see here. Let's pull our chicken out here. Our chicken is not done. It's getting close though. So we're going to take another bowl here. Once I turn around 50 times figuring out what I'm doing. We're going to take a good percentage of this herbage we got up here. We're going to add all of that in there. Now we're going to take our stock from over here. Baste our bird with our chicken stock. And then coat it. And we're going back in the oven. .300 degrees. And let that hang out there for another 15 minutes or so. Potatoes are pretty much done here. Time to get going on our stock. So we're going to make some start off with making a roux back here, or down here. Trying to use up the last of this ghee, and as I said before, I don't have a ton of butter in the house. I can add more flour than that. Battle. Awesome. So we'll let that coast for a minute. We'll do our battle. Ten of us versus 26 of them. Wow, that mage is kicking butt. There goes my rogue. Aw, Captain, don't beat up the flying rogue. It's the Colonel. Not the Captain, the Colonel. Oh, we got this. Nice. Just gotta take out those two last little chests. Victory. Entropy with the kills, Blackcade with the assists, Gratz Entropy with the scrolls. Ooh, golden scrolls for me. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. There we go. On to the next one. Generally, you can just build behind me. Let's do this too while we're at this. I'm gonna take out about 90% of that. You guys want to throw a rogue or something along the sides here? That's fine, but we'll leave the rest of the army to here. There we go. I'm going to be right back. I'm going to take a quick moment here and wipe my face off. Yeah, that's what I want when I come back from a long walk in the cold. Okay, flame back on our roux back here. We have changed back to off the stream readers there so you can see what's going. That's good. So that's still a little wet to me, so I'm going to add a little bit more flour to that. Because we want this to thicken. go. Ideally, you want your roux to be sort of looking like wet sand. Sort of like this looks done like now. A little bit almost gritty, pasty. And start adding our stock. Take a look at our chicken here. We're about halfway through on those herbs. That's looking yummy. I think I'm going to toss the rest of that ghee out. I've had it since, hell, it's lived its life. It's not smelling the greatest in the pan right now. We'll hit that with a bit more salt. Fresh cracked pepper. Take that little piece of chicken fat out. You don't need that in the gravy. It was good for the stock, but now we got this up to a nice boil here. Turn this back way down here, just to a simmer basically. Allow it to slowly cook while we finish up everything else. Actually, I'm going to add a little MSG to this too. MSG and everything. Cheers. Now that that's coming down to a nice cozy temp. Yeah. Me likey. Then again, I love brown sugar. I love sugar. Another 4 minutes on our chicken. So I think we're going to do our mashed potatoes now. Let's strain our potatoes. Just use the lid here to let the water out. without the potatoes. Taters. People are afraid of MSG, basically. What happened is, I don't remember the date. I want to say it was like the 50s, maybe the 60s. There was a study done where I believe they directly injected into the brains of rats MSG. And they obviously didn't do too well with that. It was a case where they were giving them so much MSG, like they were providing like human levels of MSG to a rat. And so the results of that came out. And you couple that with, at the time, Chinese wasn't a culture that was very well accepted yet in the States. It was, it's Oriental. You're going to a foreign restaurant at that point. And so a lot of people were just trained that it was this nasty chemical that was going to hurt them, and they get it from going to the Chinese restaurants. When in reality, it's in like everything you buy at the supermarket these days. It's a little more than a salt, but it's just got a bad name. It's a little like the dihydrogen monoxide joke. It's a long, complex word that scares people. So we'll take our last bit of butter here. Some of our stock. That was maybe a bit much on the stock. We'll see. Healthy pinch of salt. And black pepper for our taters tonight. What's wrong with butter? I love butter. Let those hang out, that'll dry up a little bit. You use an F like they do, and you weren't using abbreviations. We'll throw the last of our herbs in with the potatoes too. There's our chicken. Turn that oven off finally. Give you guys a look at this gorgeousness here. Actually, we'll do this. Oh yeah. I need a photo of that deliciousness. I don't know how well that's coming across on camera, but that is one beautiful chicken to me here. The green is just sort of hurting the contrast, but That's a nice looking bird to me. I'm very happy with that bird. That's one of the better birds that I've roasted in a little while here. So unfortunately we need to cover that gorgeousness. We'll let that sit for a good 8 to 10 minutes here while we wrap up everything else. Have another sip of our hot buttered rum. That butter and sugar, along with those spices, just immediately hit the tongue. Just coats the whole mouth in that deliciousness. And then you get that rum in the background, that warming effect afterward. Yummy, yummy. We'll set that up front here. A little out of the way. Put a lid back on our potatoes now that they've dried out a moment. Let's give our gravy a little bit of a stir up here. Make sure they ain't getting too lumpy on us while we're ignoring it. That's looking nice and thick, but it's a little light in color for me. I'm debating whether I want to try it. Well, it's thin enough, so I don't really want to do that. We're gonna Vegemite it. Not a lot, just a little bit this time. Just a little color. It'll match up a little bit with the flavor. Okay, we need a little bit more time to cook that flour out of that. I can still taste that floury flavor in there. So that needs a little bit more cook time. And I'm going to add a little bit of acid to it too. Little apple cider vinegar, whatever vinegar you got handy. Not really grabbing apple cider to grab apple cider just because it was first big bottle to grab. I'm going to loosen that up a little bit here. Good stuff. I think I've already boiled off a fair amount of this water again. I'm going to add a bit more. Keeps ribboning on me. I think we're good there with our gravy. I think that's some good gravy. Cut the heat on that. Give that a quick taste test. Definitely sticks to your... Needs a bit more salt though. Alright. How are we plating this up tonight? I think we're going for a white plate tonight. Make sure we got a good loose mash. That's looking good to me. No, I haven't, Leozio. Not that I'm really afraid or against it. Just haven't. That's just nuts that I just did that with, like, no trouble at all. Picture time. Yeah. That's looking good. Smudge on cutting table. Oh, you mean over here? It was looking okay in the camera. Or in the phone. Awesome. So we got that deliciousness. Let's see what this is like. Come on, Bone. Where are you, joint? Going way too late. Give this some tastiness here. It's hot. It's tasty though. Yeah, I'm finishing this. Fine. Oh yeah. Broken leg, by the way. I didn't break that. That's because it's tasting good. And a bite of that mash, too. I love mashed potatoes. Oh, yeah. Yum, 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 yum. Those mashed potatoes are disappearing tonight. Battle. To battle. Let's see how we shall do this battle. 18 of us versus 4 of them. And we won. Victory. Congrats, guys. Suki with the kills and the assists. Welcome in. Leo Zio with the rewards, as well as Suki. Suki. Ooh, same one we started with again here. Actually, what do I need to pull up? I need to put another flag carrier up. So we're going to put most of our forces up here. We can put a couple of guys up here. We want to ignore most of this down here. There we go. But if you want to put a couple of rogues up there, they'll be handy. But otherwise, let's mess up over here, guys. All right. So now what? I'm done with dinner. Oh. Oh yeah. Gravy's awesome. Taters are always awesome. I just got gravy all over myself. Awesome. So I think that's going to conclude this half of tonight's stream. Let's see what time we get to here. We're almost 2 hours in here. Now let's start a quick stream tonight. Give me a moment. I'm going to go see if I can't fire things up on my other PC. Get myself set up and we can go do a little Stream Raiders chat and hangout time while I have my dinner here. Give me one moment. I don't think I'm going to be able to do this tonight, guys. Your shirt? This guy? I handmade these. I screen printed these myself. I actually did it on stream almost a year ago now. Let's make another hot buttered rum here. But I don't think my other computer's going to work here for a continuing Stream Raiders here. I think we might do a Monday Stream Raiders. We'll finish up this map tomorrow morning before have a chance to have them give us a ton of updates. Does that work for you guys? I know some of you want to continue on tonight. But I'm sort of wanting to enjoy things and break them down, and I don't think I'm going to have a good chance being to do that and trying to keep the stream going. I want to enjoy my dinner, and which is really why I don't eat on stream. I don't really have a comfortable way to hang out with you guys and do that. No worries. Oh, I apologize, guys. So, in that case, let's plan for tomorrow morning. We'll do a Stream Raiders stream. And we'll finish up this map and we'll get that that loyalty chest, that super boss loyalty chest back here. That'll be tomorrow. We'll get that other loyalty chest here too. So we got 2 of those. So that'll be tomorrow morning. Let's see who we can give a raid to. Oh, that's someone I haven't been able to give a raid to before. Let's go hang out with him. Oops. Oops. Sorry for the echo there a moment. Awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and raid Kitchen Confidence. He is playing Kitchen Simulator, so playing a kitchen cooking game. But if you're unfamiliar with Kitchen Confidence, he's another member of Team Bonin. I don't typically get a chance to give him a raid because he's much more of an afternoon streamer. He typically does lunch sort of time period for me here. And great cook. I hope you give him a warm welcome. And I hope you all have a great night and see me back here tomorrow morning, let's say 9-ish. Hope you all have a great night. Thank you for joining me. And back on Wednesday for Ingredient Challenge. Probably going to be cheese puffs. Last day to vote.